Official time 6 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I need approval of the agenda this time.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Ayes have it. It's our pleasure tonight, we've got Reverend Joe Ridley, pastor of the Body of Christ Church, is going to start us off. Always a pleasure to have you.
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we approach the throne of grace, boldly thanking you for mercy, thank you for grace to help in the time of need. Thank you for the victory that you have won for us. I'm going to carry how you took our place, died out of death, and rose to justify us. We just speak blessings in this room today. We thank you for rooting in the kingdom of men and giving it to who you will. Thank you, O God, for this economy. Thank you for the commission of the governments, O God, in this kind of way, the level, not only here, Father, federal, state, local, city, and county. We thank you now. We speak blessings in your name, Father. We are your executive agent, person representative to represent you everywhere we go. And we thank you for all that you've done for us, doing for us, and desire to do, Father. Help us come up to your requirements. Stand firm on your truths. We lift this county up to you and every county commissioner, Father. You know our heart. You know our heart and our heart desire. You know what we need even before we ask. So we speak blessings today. Even on this meeting and this agenda tonight, speak blessing in your name. Whatever we do, oh God, and whatever you do for us, we're going to give you glory, praise, and honor. God, we know you're the same yesterday, today, and forever. You don't change. What you said, you're still saying what you've done. You're still doing who you are. You still is. Your eyes are different while we're holding the good and the evil. We thank you right now. In the mighty, magnificent name of Jesus, we speak blessings here tonight in your name. It's all for your glory. In Jesus' name. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, hold on 1 minute. I got you something. I was going to say, one time you're going to come up here and sing for me. Okay. Y'all hadn't heard this gentleman sing? He can get out singing, I promise. All right, if we get started, we go to consent agenda and approval for the minutes. All we've got is the first two to September 3rd of 2019. Everybody's had opportunity to look at that. If there's no changes, I need a motion to approve.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
With a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. We start new business tonight, Government Center drainage improvement. Ms. Donald, you're hiding back there on the back on me. You learning the ropes, you're doing fine.
Yeah, we just had a couple of questions before we move forward. We're gonna take in-house and do this project out front. Our question is, mine and John Lowe, the trees that are in front of the government center here, does the board have an issue with us taking them out?
Are you gonna put anything back?
Well, we're gonna have a drainage, we'll probably just do grass maybe. I mean, we could, it's up to y'all, whatever y'all would like. Honestly, I think it would look better if all that was gone.
Are they Bradford pears or what are they?
They never Bradford.
There's some crepe
Crepe
myrtles
myrtles out
over
front.
here
It is.
and just some shrubs, I think. And we're trying to correct, I think all of you know that sort of the background on it, but we have issues with water running back towards the building and just trying to correct some drainage issues out there. And we're going to, the plan is just to create kind of a swale.
And then, Mr. Weiner, he said that the rock field would be a great idea, and we're gonna pursue that as well. So, we just didn't wanna just go with that now.
So, and I'm fine, with you guys, if that's what's needed, you know what I mean, to help solve the problem. And after you guys have done everything you need to do, we can go back and reevaluate,
Yeah.
if and what we can plan into some of those areas to help with the beautification.
I agree. I think it's gonna look bare without something on either side of the door, but we can come back, maybe we can get somebody to donate some trees in memory of somebody or something, and
Commissioner Pitt, can we do this in the form of a motion? So we
Yes, so Mr. Chairman, I make the motion that we give our departments the necessary tools they need to remove any type of landscaping. They would go back and revisit it once the job is done.
All right. Have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right, you're up here again, so stay right. Award bid for Government Center Plumbing.
Okay, we got one bid was a plumbing, from Marler Plumbing. It went out for bid for twice, didn't it?
3 times, I
Three
think.
times. Marler said he can cut that a little bit, he thinks, by using some different sizes and piping and stuff. I'm just saying that we need to move forward with it if we can, because we don't want another accident. I'm just wanting y'all to approve and move forward.
And Tim has worked with us on several of these bids. I don't know, Tim, you have anything additional to add?
By far the best price we got, around $42,000. To correct the problem we had. We've got, if needed down the road, we have a spot for a little bit of pump to help with pressure and whatnot. And this will put in the, on-demand water heaters, which will have to be wired sometime down the road, and they'll be plugged in place.
Any question for Ms. White? None, I entertain a motion to let them go forward with the plumbing on the accepted bid that we've got, or the bid, only bid we got.
So moved, Chairman.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
4-1. Thank you. Move on to number 3 tonight, award bid for the Deer Run Lift Station improvements, Mr. Ingram.
We received bids on September the 5th to do some sewer improvements at the Deer Run lift station in River North. All South Construction was the low responsive bidder on improvement A, which was to remove and replace the guide rail, the pump number 2 with a bid of $7,000. They were also low on bid item C, which is a hoist equipment which would be used to lift the pumps for a future. And Fortis Engineering Solution was low responsive bidder for the site improvements out of 107, 195. And we're recommending award of A and C to All South, and then site improvements bid B to Fortis, and the money would come out of the new construction account.
Any questions for Mr. Ingram? If none, I entertain a motion.
So moved, Chairman.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Second. No more in discussion, all in favor, aye? Any opposed? All, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Moving forward, Live Healthy Jones Day. Commissioner Pitts?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I want to ask the board's permission to have a Live Healthy Jones Day. I'd like to start right here at the Government Center Park. For example, that morning we have some type of outdoor exercise activity, maybe a yoga class or something along those lines. And then I want to do a wellness walk. And with this wellness walk, it'll be something for the employees they could participate in as part of their wellness program, maybe get some points. Get a chance to walk around the track for 30 minutes to an hour, and there'll be a nurse practitioner there to answer some general health questions that they may have. There's times where they get off work, they may not have a chance to go to the doctor's appointment, to the health clinic, or seek health care services, where this is to be something free. This nurse practitioner just talk to them, answer general health questions, and after that, they have to see their primary care doctor or help them find one. So I'm asking for permission to do that. And even on that night, if at all possible, I'd love to show a movie at the Government Center Park. We can use the funds from the Piedmont Hospital, the sponsorship of the naming rights, use those funds to help cover the cost of showing an outdoor movie that evening. So just want to get permission from the board and answer any question the board may have about hosting this event.
All right. Any question for Commissioner Pitt? Do I have support?
Do we have any of our wellness money that could be put towards it? Or do we use that on?
And for an example, the outdoor exercise event would be free. The wellness walk is free. The only expense would be the movie. Mhm.
We might get that sponsored.
And right, we may be able to get it sponsored. But like I said, just wanted to bring it to the board now. So if you guys have questions, we can work on it. And I'm actually looking at doing it. I think it's in October. I think it's the 26th, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? That's one Saturday that Georgia's not playing, so there's a chance we may get some additional fans to come to the game and not use the Georgia game as an excuse of why they can't make it.
Or instead of playing a movie, you have the big screen showing the Georgia game.
Hey,
You probably have
listen. I mean, that'd be a great idea for this Saturday, but it's a little too late for that one. A little too late for that one. But that's, I just want to get consent from the board if you know that's a good idea. Any recommendations that may come from the board as well.
We can do that in the form of a motion. We'll go forward with that.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, make the motion that we have a Live Healthy Jones Day, which will include an outdoor exercise event, a wellness walk, and a movie shown here at the Government Center Park.
All right, have a motion, have a second? Second. Any more discussion? None. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. We move forward. Before we start, we've got a very special guest here tonight. As y'all know, years ago, this county was on a very limited budget with limited staffing, and we're in a very special room. Miss Charlotte Wilson happens to be in this audience tonight, and I'd like to recognize her because this conference room is named after Miss Charlotte Wilson, and I'd like to sit there and recognize her and give her a round of applause. All her.
I feel very honored. I work for 8 boards of commissioners, but I can't tell you the names of all of them.
And for the record, it was just her and one other lady, right? There wasn't just two of y'all up here at that time, right?
Right.
Yeah, so times have really changed, but Miss Charlotte, she had it, you know, if there was a problem with the plumbing, guess who came up here and checked on it? Miss Charlotte was out here.
This building is way better than it was when we moved in here in 1989.
Yep.
We had insulation stored in the hall right there. Butch Moore come in and he said, "Are you sure we're ready to move?"
But we do appreciate all your service to the county over the years. Thank you very much. But Ms. Charlotte's here in support of the Civil War Heritage Trail Fund. I'm going to ask Steve Longcrier. I think you're here to present something to the board. Originally, I had Mr. Risner, but he said you were here in support of the.
Well, I mean, I certainly can allow Jason. Jason knows a lot of what we've been doing. If I could ask you to distribute this just briefly, one to each person here. Chairman Widener, other commissioners, Chairman Pitts, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Thank you for allowing me to speak for just a moment. My name is Steve Longcrier. I'm the director of a nonprofit organization, 501c3 nonprofit organization called Georgia Civil War Heritage Trails. We've been working for a long time on this, and believe it or not, we completed as of next week with our 100th marker in the state, interpretive marker. We work with the state of Georgia. We work with 120 different local cities and county jurisdictions across the state. We work with the National Park Service. We work with a lot of people, rich and poor, black and white, and we're not trying to slant the history one way or the other. We're trying to tell history the way it occurred here in our state. Our program is about education, and it's about tourism. Now, I emphasize the tourism part because that is an equal partner to what we're trying to do here. We're trying to encourage visitors, both in-state and out-of-state, to come visit Jones County and all the other communities that are participating in this program to learn about the history of our state during the most tragic and the most important part of history in our state's passing. I mean, a lot of terrible things happened with the war, but obviously over a long period of time it took, but a lot of good things came as a result of what happened through that war. Unfortunately, it had to occur in a wartime, but I want to go over just briefly the first page of the handout is what Chairman Moore and the board 19 years ago committed to this. And you ask, why in the world has this taken 19 years? Well, if you've ever worked with a federal grant, I can tell you none of it goes easy. And we're working with 120 different local jurisdictions, and the federal government was involved with it every step of the way. And so it's just taken a long, long time. And you're talking about a staff of one. I work with an army of volunteers, including Ms. Charlotte and also Arlene Hamilton here, who joined me today. And we are just very pleased to be able to say that this program is now finished. As of next week, we will have completed the March to the Sea Heritage Trail, and that's just something we never thought we'd get to be able to say at some point. But now we're at the point now which the commission understood 19 years ago to be able to maintain this program, continue to bring tourists. In fact, we already have 2 tours booked through Jones County and to other communities through Milledgeville and stuff for next year, and that's just 2 that I know about. We're working very close with the state tourism office to try to bring more tours, as well as mom and dad and minivans and things like that through communities like this. I know y'all know this, but I work with all these communities across the state. There's not another community like this in the state with the type of historical assets. Not only Clinton, but the Grizzleville community. I know the battlefield that's preserved is just across the county line, but thanks to working with your staff here, we were able to get that parking pull-off built, which, by the way, it's over $50,000 was spent just on that parking pull-off. It's the only one we've done in the state. So that shows you the significance of what we thought of this community was worth doing that for. And in this, we tell the story about the Battle of Sunshine Church and Sunshine Church too, the United Methodist Church. Those three sites and everything else that Jones County has to offer historically are unlike anything in the state. I promise you that, and I've seen it all. I know I've spoken too much, I'll be here to answer any questions, but what I'd like to say, the last paragraph of that resolution that Chairman Moore and the others passed 19 years ago was allowing us to have $1,500 per year to go towards the maintenance and marketing. We have to do a lot of fundraising beyond that. The state helps us out with a little bit of money from time to time, kind of up and down on that. But it depends on what the budget is each year with the state. But we asked for $1,500. The board approved it 19 years ago. We're not asking for anything more today, even though inflation's gone up quite a bit since then, of course. We're just asking for reaffirmation of what Chairman Moore and the others agreed to allow us to maintain what we've now built and to encourage more visitors to come to Jones County.
Okay. Any questions from Mr. Longcrier? I entertain a motion this time.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I made the motion that we approve the funding for the Civil War Heritage Trail and of $1,500 and continue to support them wherever we can.
All right, I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank
You
you.
for all y'all's hard work.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item number 6, approve the washer and extractor bid, Mr. Risner, but I think the Sheriff's Department's here, so if you want to hand it off, I know he's anxious to come up here and talk to everybody. Guy, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I appreciate that too, and I do. Gentlemen, ladies, first and foremost, we sent off a bid, or we asked for a bid to replace the two 65-pound commercial washers that we use every day at the Sheriff's Office. The ones we got, we had 3 bids submitted. We had 3 come in. I'll go over them one by one, but very briefly, I would just like to tell you that after looking at all 3 of these bids, we would respectfully request the board take the bid from Southeastern Laundry, and I'll give you the reasons why. First, the bid was for 2 65-pound washer extractors with a minimum G-force spin of 400. Southeastern was the only company that offered that in their bid. We need this larger size due to the large load that we wash on a daily basis. The higher G-force means less drying time, so we'll save on energy costs compared to the others, and also be able to complete the number of loads that we need to daily. Although OEM Laundry Parts, which was out of Florida, their bid was for a lot less. It was also for a 65-pound washer. It only has a G-force spin of 300 for the smaller motor. They did not do all the paperwork. Mr. Ridley can tell you, he may try to reach out to them today to try to complete the paperwork. He didn't seem like he was very interested in it. I mean, if that's the same
accurate,
you
yeah.
got. So I just bypassed that bid altogether. The second bid was for a company out of Valdosta, Georgia, which is also in state, which is very good, but theirs was for a 60-pound washer with a G-force spins of only 300, so it was smaller, required more drying time, therefore costing more energy costs when it comes to drying time. So also, since our water lines are already hard pipe, TLC, the Tri-State Laundry Company, said they would not connect the plumbing, and we would have to hire a plumber to install it. The warranty issues we had, Southeastern Laundry Equipment has a better warranty. Their warranty covers any parts for the first 3 years. Both TLC and OEM, they offered a limited warranty, which covered no parts whatsoever. So the reason we asked for Southeastern Laundry, we've had them for the last 20 years. They've been very dependable. When we call them for service, they show up like they're supposed to. We don't know about how this company with the TLC. We reached out to their references, but all those are very new customers, so they haven't had experience with their service. So we will not have anything to judge that on. We know what we're dealing with when we're dealing with Southeast, so therefore we respectfully request that we submit a bid for Southeast.
And I'll add on, in case there's any confusion, this came up on our meeting 2 weeks ago, and we had to determine at that point, due to time constraints, that it wasn't a purchase that necessarily had to go out to bid, but Jason had time to actually send it out to bid, which is always a great thing, but if there's any confusion on why we actually ended up sending this out to bid, that's why.
Any questions?
You said to Tri-State there was no warranty, extended
There's a
warranty
very
on it?
limited warranty, it didn't cover any parts. And if you look at the two bids, the proposals for bids, there was only a difference of $670 per machine.
Right. That's what I was thinking, that a
$1,000.
limited warranty would cover that easy.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to,
Motion to approve the bid for Southeastern Laundry Equipment for the washer and dryer,
Second.
or washers, sorry.
we have a motion and a second. Commissioner Pitts, any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can wash clothes here before too long.
You personally.
You personally. I understand you know how to run them pretty well.
My wife says I do a very good job.
You're a perfect husband, right? Great, thank you. All right, we move forward to number 7 tonight on new business. We've got transit third-party operating extension. Mr. Risner?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Our transit service, the third-party operator for our transit service is currently out for bid. Bids are due back to us on October 21st. You'll recall a month or two ago, we did an extension with our current provider. Just due to the timing of bids and the amount of time it would take somebody new, assuming somebody new is awarded the work, the time it would take them to mobilize, we're going to need to do another extension. So the current extension takes us through the end of September. This would be an additional 3 months that takes us to the end of the year. And I think that'll be sufficient time to get the bids in, review them, and then have a new contractor mobilize if necessary.
Any questions for Mr. Risner? None, I'll entertain a motion for the extension of the third-party operator.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, we have a second? Second, Mr. Robinson. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye? Aye. Ayes have it. 5-0. Ready? All right. Number 8, we've got update radar list. Mr. Risner, you again.
And if
I'll need this one. Y'all causing any more work for that radar list?
Mr. Douglas, you gonna do that tonight?
I can.
I didn't see you
I
sitting
got
in the
it, I got
back.
it.
You're gonna do the sheriff's report, correct?
So we've just got a new radar list from GDOT that reflects just one change associated with the bypass and the what are now former state routes inside the bypass now being city streets. And so there's the change is removing a section of State Route 44 from State Route 18, Bilcon Parkway, to State Route 22, Gray Bypass. So that's the only change to the list. And so I would just ask for the board to approve this revised list.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask, we look at add another? I had a request for adding a portion of Stallings Road to that list, the portion that we just paved, just to find out what process we need to go through to at least have it evaluated to determine if it could be.
I'll certainly work with the sheriff's office on that, and I think it involves GDOT coming out and doing a speed study, and do you know how all that works?
They'll come out and do that speed study thing, and then you guys put it on the thing, and y'all approve it, and then I'll send it back off to the state, and then they'll do their paperwork again, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, I'd be happy to work with them.
All right. Well, I entertain a motion.
So I made the motion, we accept the updated radar list that's been presented.
We have a motion, we have a second? Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it, 5-0. Number 9 on new business, budget amendment for elections. Ms. Hatton?
Good evening.
Good evening.
We'll start off with saying when my last full-time registrar, Ms. Gay, left to open her own business, I approached our county administrator about, for this previous budget year only, to make the position part-time. We had nothing pressing coming up. I'm all about records maintenance. Many of the elections I've held, I know that we can't resolve every problem before then, but I work very, very hard on our off years to do that. In fact, in a 3-month period from June 1st to August 30th, I've changed over 5,350 voter registration records. So I'm very, very diligent about my records. With that being said, I also have, as of August 30th, so September's figures are not on here, I have over 1,019 hours accrued. I have been denied vacation time because there is nobody there to cover my office. Also, in past election years, I get so much comp time built up because I work so often, and I never include the many hours I take home, work nights and weekends. My assistant has always gotten a good deal of overtime. The thought that I could do this now with a part-time person just blows my mind.
Yeah.
We have all new equipment. We have House Bill 316 passed earlier this year. This is the 39-page bill. The portions I have highlighted in orange, they are just registrars, what we're gonna do, what we're gonna change. They never says, you know, when they pass legislation, they don't tell us how we're gonna get there, how we're gonna do it, they just tell us we're gonna do it. So we're still figuring all this out. 39 pages is a lot of changes. Some things we've already implemented, some things we haven't paid yet, and we're still trying to work it out. I need my full-time person.
Can I ask a question real quick? I mean, I was under, I thought we had made this full-time when we went on this, you know, I asked about the computer and it was covered under
We
Will.
did during my budget hearing. When I left here on the
Sure.
22nd,
Now, this
it
is
was
when we
done.
actually had the final
I
one we were going.
checked it off my list.
Sure.
I learned by reading the Jones County News that it was later decided that it would stay part-time with additional hours during elections.
That's what I'm trying to get after. When we had the final meeting to approve everything, I was in the understanding that we had this part-time, full-time because of the election year. Is that what y'all understood?
I wasn't here, so I can't comment.
You weren't here. And you remember, I apologize, but I thought it was, because when we brought up on the final meeting, when we had that final list and we were going through the, you know, yays and nays, first thing was the computer, and I think y'all told me it was approved through Will's budget. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and then we went to the full-time because of the election. We knew we had a election coming up, and this had been part-time in the past.
Only for 6 months.
I know, because of the, you know, you didn't really need, but we needed to go back to full-time, and I thought that's what we had decided. I mean, we've had so much go through across, you know, this desk, but I was under the impression we were at full-time. You remember?
And I was assured 6 months ago, I
You
was
weren't
not
here?
going to have a problem returning this to a full-time position.
That's why
It has been
I'm going back to the
broken.
final meeting where we approved everything, you know.
Right.
It wasn't approved at the hearing, it was actually approved at the final.
I think what I recall, in terms of just the sequence of things with the budget was, I think, when you presented it at the hearing, the board initially indicated they were good with it, and then I think the next time that there was a meeting, there was additional discussion about it, and the board said, you know, just do the additional hours, I think is what I recall from that.
And what I've been told
But-
is it's 17 hours, additional hours per election. You know what that covers? Election day, period. If we want to end up in the courtroom next year, because my office does not have the required by law number of people in it, okay, let's shoot for it.
It's been a full-time position up until she offered to take it to part-time
Just for the 6 months.
budget. Right.
So some bylaws that said you have to have 2 full-time employees, or?
No, sir, during early voting, we have to have 3, minimum 3.
We only got 1.5.
Well, my thought on it is if it's been full-time for, since I've been here anyway,
Over 10 years.
we hadn't deemed it to be that there's no need for a full-time person. I don't know how we can go from full-time to part-time without. I mean,
Yeah.
Any other?
I mean, if the bylaw said you have to have 3 people, we only have 1.5.
Well, you know, you have 2, the third one will be a part-time at that time.
The
Is
third person I do, one of my poll managers, she comes in, is that third-time person.
Sure.
Or that third person.
But this department's had 2 full-time for quite some time. And it was just for 6 months because it was really not a need. To save money, save the county money, she went to part-time, but we need to, you know, I'll be honest with you, I thought we had went back to full-time.
That was the consensus of the board at the time. I mean,
Yep.
Dayline.
Commissioner Martin?
Miss Sydney started back, she's been on maternity leave, she actually came back today, was her first day back. She's a perfect fit for this office, y'all. I cannot tell you just how impressed I am with her and how motivated she is. I don't have time to babysit the
Sure.
registrar. And
Commissioner?
with her, I don't have to.
Commissioner Martin, any comment?
I'm just going to say, without question, during the election year, I see the need for full-time. Beyond that, I don't. You know, I don't work up here, but I know every time that I've come up here between election to election, there's a lot of free space and time. So my concern is, from a budgetary perspective,
In my office, same 3 times.
again, between elections. So after the election, I know there's a die-down period, and again, we have elections every 4 years. So I know you work a lot. I don't know what that really entails because I'm not in there. That's one of the few departments that, you know, I've spent very little time. So again, during the election year, without question, I see the need for full-time. Beyond that, I would say there are part-time roles. I don't know when it became full-time, and if it was 10 years ago, that was before us. And I don't remember if the hours or the salary was changed. I'd rather give you, you know, 2 good, strong part-time folks during the peak season and then minimize it to a part-time person during the regular course of the year. That would be my opinion, because again, I'm not up here and I don't see what happens for the 3 years in between.
You said, yeah, I've got an issue with that. I'm thinking that we have elections every 4 years. This is the first calendar year since I've been there 22 years that we have not had an election this year, in this calendar year. We have elections. Y'all love special elections. The Board of Education loves special elections. There's always seats being vacated. We have presidential and our local elections every 4 years. Other than that, we still have the gubernatorial elections every 2 years. And all the specials that pop up, we have a lot more elections than once every 4 years.
Well, again, those are peak times to me, so.
Right. And I start working on these elections 120 days before the actual election. I'm working on presidential primary right now.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Commissioner Robinson?
I remember it being full-time, and as it's been said, she volunteered to change it to part-time to save some money during that period, but, and I'm in favor of making it back full-time.
You want to put that in the motion?
Make the motion that we approve Marion's request of changing that part-time person back to full-time.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we move on to old business tonight. Approval for the Jones County City of Gray Service Delivery Strategy, Water Service Area Update. Prisoner, you're working on that also?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. At the joint city-county BOE meeting a few weeks ago, we had discussion about the water service area map, and I think we reached consensus there that of those assembled that my takeaway from that was that the city was not interested in doing anything between Camelot and Huckabee there on Highway 18, and that they would be okay with returning that service area back to the county. And so I thought, I don't think we have anybody from the Regional Commission here tonight, but I guess this board could go ahead and approve the service delivery map showing that area as served by the Jones County Board of Commissioners.
That's connected from Huckabee back to Camelot. That way, if we ever, long-term, long-range plan, if we ever need to continue the loop, that would be the missing link that we'll have to continue. Any more questions? Entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved, Chairman.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it, 5-0. All right. All right, we move on to old business, Development Authority Budget Amendment. Were you gonna do it, Ms. Nelson, were you gonna say something tonight? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Were you here to say something tonight on?
I was here to support Mr. Toppin and I'll see you.
Oh,
So we'd like to request to clarify later on that issue, any questions y'all may have. We appreciate y'all's participation in that.
you wanna come on forward that way to gain questions? You've been put on the spot tonight.
Well, I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
I see that, no problem. Good to be back. Friendly room.
Are you saying good to be back on that side of the bench?
It is. I like both sides. I was a little late because I was at the College and Career Academy grand opening. Mr. Martin, it was a great day for Jones County, and linked with our plans as well. The College and Career Academy and the Development Authority, I think, go hand in hand, and a great first step for that for the College and Career Academy tonight. And I think the Development Authority will soon follow. Staffing is what got brought up last time, and there were some questions about the budget was asked for, and then I think the further explanation of exactly how the budget was going to be spent on what personnel was the question. So Pat was going to join me here tonight to provide some of that. I can entertain a couple of questions, or I may defer to gather more information later. And again, well, Chris, we appreciate your coming to the meeting, and other commissioners, we certainly welcome you all anytime. And Sam, we appreciate you coming too. Did you want to ask a particular question?
No, I was gonna just, recommend we table the motion, or table it until we get some more information. And one that, it might be helpful to have an org chart, job descriptions of what the personnel, what we're planning on doing with the personnel for the
We
budget.
certainly be glad to provide that, and we can put it on the agenda for our next meeting and cover it in brief, and then we'll
Bring
be
it back.
prepared to come back.
I think we in the budget hearings, I think we all agreed that we knew we needed to move forward with doing something with the property. That
Right.
Sitting there is not doing us any good at all.
But
So-
did you approve the staffing money that night? Just wanted further clarification, or didn't you held on it?
I think we've held on it.
We had on. And basically, it was, he just trying to figure out, we just need more clarification, because, you've got Pat, and then you wanted full-time, and I think that was the question, do we need both? And I guess the second question, I'll be honest, but I had, are we ready? We got Pat working part-time right now. Is it more of administrative, and we've got people that are mentoring under him that are doing a great job, and I just, clarification of what's.
We think, and the discussion I had this afternoon with Pat, is that we continue in that model going forward, is what we have in mind, and be prepared to discuss in the next meeting.
Sure, that'd be great. All right, well, I need a motion to table for, y'all's next meeting is,
I don't know the exact date, second Thursday.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll follow, we'll put it on our agenda following if you'll call us when y'all ready, we'll put it on our agenda following that.
Thanks for y'all's consideration.
Thank you, Tim.
All right.
Motion to table?
Motion table, Chairman.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. We might get moving before everybody has to get, yes, all right, department head, Mr. Pelkey?
I just appreciate all your support, and excited to go into another year here, and just looking forward to looking at the growth of the county, the growth of the department, and how we can meet the needs. Just appreciate all your support.
Mr. Goins?
Yes, sir, I got a few things. One is, I'm sure you're aware of it, but if not, the dog park is open, fully functional. Daylight only operations for now. I don't know if that'll change in the future, but for right now, it is daylight only. We had a good grand opening. I don't want to steal too much of Commissioner Pitt's thunder, so I'll leave it there. Foot golf also had a great kickoff, and I invite everybody to come out and participate with that. Again, I'll let Commissioner Pitts elaborate more on that. Playground update is blocked off right now. My conversation with Landmark Construction today is it should be fully operational by October the 16th. So in that process, we'll be building the restroom, or they're calling it convenience center. We'll also be installing a sensory panel, another memory bench, and all the laser etched support brick that were purchased. So there's quite a bit going on during this closure. So all that'll be coming together, and we'll be looking for another grand opening October the 16th, or reopening, should I say. Matty Wells basketball court should be up and functional by mid next week. Court's down, still letting the green, get the green out of it, let it cure out. We'll be installing the post. They'll be installing the post. They cut the concrete out today. Be installing the post later this week. It'll need to sit there before we put the backboard and rims on. Make sure that concrete cures out real good so to hold the post in place. So mid next week we should have that court up fully functional.
First Readers Program has been up and running for a few weeks. I'm excited to say we have a little over 50 kids that are now receiving books once a month to their home. And went and met with Joe Cola, which is a literacy alliance, part of the Board of Education, and working with them on some other stuff. So we're going to continue to grow this program in Jones County with the assistance of multiple people. Last but not least, I would ask for y'all's blessing to allow me to help with Leadership Jones, which is Junior Leadership Jones, which is helping junior and seniors, high schoolers that will participate in Leadership Jones.
Good. Now, do you mind commenting on the inclusion program you got going on with the schools in football?
Yes. I always murder her last name. Miss Leah Bonacek. I don't know if that's accurate
right.
or not, but she is head of Unified Sports for the high school, and we have put together a big foot golf event October, and it's going to be Jones County plus 4 of the high schools coming in, bringing their unified teams, and it's going to be a big grand day for foot golf at Jones County for our unified kids and unified program. If you don't know what unified is, it's where they refer to them as partners, which are kids that have needs, and then you have other kids, normal. You get the gist. I'll let you word it the proper way. I don't want to offend anyone. So anyway, you take those two people, you match them together, and they work together throughout every day at school. Well, we're going to take that same program. They'll partner up and they'll come play foot golf together as well. So it'll be a great day.
Great. Mr. Martin, you gonna have a half-court tournament for the grand opener on your?
I don't know if I can do it by next week, but we'll talk with Vaughn and Matt to see what we can come up with.
Okay.
I think the commissioners should come out and do that.
I can't jump, but I can.
I think 3-on-3 commissioners versus each department. I think that will work. Sheriff's Department too. Past commissioners are encouraged to participate.
Hey, the Sheriff's Department can't recruit.
I will say the Sheriff's Office has a weekly match where they take the jail against the detectives against maybe road, and they go out every week, and they play golf against each other to see which department wins. And I think this past week, the jail won this past week. They pretty competitive against each other. So y'all need to get that going in foot golf also.
That's right.
Again, just to make sure, I do have your blessings for the Junior Leadership Jones program.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And that's also part of our ACCG stuff, right, GCAPS.
Mr. White, you got anything?
Like Jeffrey, thank y'all for everything y'all do. Making the county great.
Thank you. Mr. Douglas, you got a sheriff's report for us tonight? You know I had to ask. You were sitting back there with that smirk on your face. Mr. Resner? Brody, how many more days?
A week.
A week.
But I do have to point out to the March to the Sea gentlemen, one of your commissioners from those 19 years ago was Wayman Roberts,
How
who's
about
my
that?
sweet granddaddy. So it was just nice looking down, seeing his name on here. Yeah.
Right. Shannon, you got anything?
We received the salary study bids back, and we're gonna start going through them and bring it, before y'all at the next meeting. We're gonna start working on the leadership trainings, for our department heads. And I wanted to let y'all know that, one of our public works employees passed away this weekend, Mr. Emmett Mitchell. If y'all would just keep his family in prayer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Citizen comments. Anybody like to come forward tonight? Y'all have really,
Just for clarification, can I get Sydney set up to go full-time the next pay period, which begins next week?
I think that's it. That's how it was set up.
Yeah, if you'll just do payroll.
I'll send her to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. You citizens tonight, y'all have been quiet. We appreciate your participation, but y'all have been quiet for quite some time. Mr. Robinson, you want to start us off tonight?
I just appreciate the way the department heads work together and the cooperation throughout all the county employees. very much appreciated.
We do definitely. Commissioner Martin?
I just want to share real quickly, Macon Transit Authority at one point was looking at expanding some routes. Coming into Gray may be a good fit right up to our shopping center, so keep that in mind. It's sort of a desert once you get east of Gray, District 4, almost to Millersville. There is no grocery store. But, you know, that's an opportunity for people to experience our culture and our climate, and of course, get to shop in our area. We also, in that same discussion, talked a little bit about bringing it towards District 4, because obviously we do have some retail in that area. So the main routes and connectivity, that would be a basic extension of the Macon line, because it stops right there on Bethune, and then it also goes towards Lake Arrowhead. So that may be an opportunity with a third party to, you know, investigate that further. Workforce development, we approved $300,000 to Mercer for serving our youth, anywhere from 16 to 24, GED and credentialing. And we also did $250,000 to Eventual Success. I understand Eventual Success has already been up here talking to our Board of Ed, which is good. The state did approve, and the feds approved of our waiver request of 50-50 service of youth. Right now it's 70-30, serving 70% of the kids that are outside of school and 30% inside. Actually 75-25, and now it's 50-50. So that will help us reach out to more youth. If you have someone who graduated and they're just sitting at home, please let me know, and then we can get the referral up. If they did not graduate, please let me know so we can get them counted. That affects the school board's CCRPI numbers, so that goes all the way to age 24. So if Joe's at home doing nothing, let's help him get a credential and a GED to get them out in the workplace. We attended a SETA conference, Southeastern Training Association's conference in Savannah about a week ago. One of the most exciting components was mobile labs for students, CNC, welding, etc. If it's not in our college and career academy, we don't need to spend $1 million to make it happen. These labs can be assembled for as little as $50,000 to $300,000, depending on what it is, and they can be mobile to go even from middle schools, but ideally high schools. So I shared it in Bibb County, and we're going to have a further conversation about that. And I shared it also with Laura Rackley, I think, who's going to investigate it as well. So wanted to put that out there. And what's the other one? Oh, mountain biking. Since we approved the Jones County Youth Cycling, we have some cyclists. We've not formally come in and done the thing locally for the recreation, but we have been riding with the mountain biking group. When you get a chance, look up NICA. It's a national mountain biking program. We are riding with Baldwin and Macon at this time. We rode up at Brazelton, Georgia, a couple weeks back. There were over 200 kids registered. I don't quite remember what the registration fee is. But it's $175 for 5 rides during the year. There were 200 kids there, which meant there was 600 adults and grandparents present, and then siblings. So there was probably about 1,200 people on the ground. And we were captive 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, at Road Atlanta. If you've ever been up to Road Atlanta, there's a whole bunch right there. But if you go down a little bit further, there are some eateries. Just wanted to bring that to your attention if you decide to jump on the whatever contraption and cut some trails. It's an opportunity. There will be a race in 2 weeks in Baldwin County. This week we're going up to Altoona. So Baldwin County, if you're in town, this will be a great opportunity to see how it works. And again, it's NICA, and it's a great program for the kids.
You ready to put in your bike track?
Hey, I'm ready to put in a bike trail, which is not a track. So as long as we're clear on that.
We can call it track,
I know.
walking track,
Good try.
nature track. You got a beautiful place to put it.
Trail.
Just a suggestion, I keep offering.
Trail. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Pitt?
So I think Matt kind of hit on it. Really proud and thank the commissioners and staff that came out to participate in our first foot golf event, and excited about what it's about to become by including the United Sports and with the inclusion schools that's going to be participating in the event that's coming up in October. Thank everybody that came out and supported the dog park. It's been something a long time coming. I see a lot of people that's actually enjoying the dog park, and actually had a young lady talk to me while I was there, talking about how she enjoyed the track and the landscaping that's up there now. It's a really beautiful location for the community. I think it's just another great asset that we have. Thank the board for the support of the Live Healthy Jones Day. And had a great meeting this past Saturday with the Wayside Presbyterian Church about some issues that's going up on the Wayside. A lot of good insight, a lot of good ideas were shared, and so we'll be hearing from that community and the citizens in that community as we go forward with that planning and zoning issue that's arising. But it was really good just to hear the input from the people in that community, and just thank the staff for everything they do to make our community what it is, a great community. So, and that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Kitchen?
Thank you, Chairman. We've talked several times about water and sewer needs and infrastructure needs, and we talked about it a little during the budget. Didn't get my part passed either, but you know, it's still a try. But we did talk about how we do how we get a feasibility study, or how we look at what we're talking about doing. And I don't know if we ever give direction to staff, whether it was to Jason or to county engineer, about coming up with some options. And I think if we hadn't, I would hope that we can get a consensus to do that. And I think we need to, you know, we talked about the Water and Sewer Authority. We put it out there for the city to partner with us if that was something they were interested in doing. But, you know, we need to look at the Water and Sewer Authority. We need to look at distribution and capacity in water and sewer throughout the county. And, you know, we also need to look at rate study, you know, and how we're gonna fund that type of stuff. So, you know, if we hadn't give any direction on it, I would like to see if we got a consensus to ask Jason and the county engineer to get some options to bring something back to us to look at. You know, obviously we'd have to vote on whatever he brings back, if any.
Do you have one other comment?
Go ahead.
So I support that, Sam, wholeheartedly. And another, I was talking to Jason today, and going back to what Dalen was talking about, just recreation trails and all that type of stuff. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, we had a cross-country event here in Jones County. It's over maybe 20 schools that actually came to Jones County and come to, this is the nicest cross-country track there is, like in central Georgia. And I think that was really impressive. I think we need to find a way to capitalize on these recreation-type events where people come into our community and get them to spend some money around here to try to continue to help our local economy, SPLOST, and continue to enhance our overall facilities as a whole.
Every one of the things that y'all are talking about, that, you know, the economic drivers depend on water and sewer. I mean, we can't expand along Gray Highway much more than what we got without water and sewer capacity to be able to do it. And so, you know, we've got so many great amenities to bring people to Jones County, and they're limited by the number of restaurants and eateries and grocery stores in the county. So they tend to go surrounding counties to spend some of their money.
Yeah. Well, Commissioner Pitts, to key off on your track, the county had opportunity, the school board, getting ready for this, had a hiccup in their system, and the county was actually able to go in and help them complete the track. Had a lot of, Martin Marietta contributed a great deal of rock. Our county employees got out there and helped the school board, so we worked together, saving tax dollars for our community to get out there and get the track ready. Jeff Moore sent a real nice text back thanking the board and the county for the help with the school board working together to make this day a success. And I think there was over 3,000 people were the final. Was it 1,200 runners?
I don't know. I know we just had a
conversation. 1,200 runners
and
I saw, and 3,000 people total. And I think we're considered one of the top events in the area for the cross country, and it's well supported. So, like I said, it's a great opportunity to work together with the school board to help them through this. And anytime we can work together, I think we need to, work with them. Also had opportunity. I think it was last week. We had a group come in. We were the 105th county they had sit down with, and it was the Department of Agriculture and Economic Development group. There's 5 individuals from different groups that go from county to county and just getting ideas, looking at what we're doing and whatnot. And they were very complimentary of Gray and the downtown area that had been taking place there, but the county too, along with our industrial park. They were very impressed with that and where we were going. And they said they just couldn't believe that when they come to this county, they were actually going to use us as a role model on some of their discussions, because they had counties that didn't seem to have any initiative to go through with economic development and to see that the downtown was doing what they were doing and the county was doing what they were doing, and the two working together to go forward in economic development. And they were real impressed. And it was a short meeting, but they took a little tour, and they said we would be mentioned down the road. So it's nice to know we're doing something right.
And that's also, if you don't mind, I've had an opportunity to attend the ACCG GMA conference up in Athens about a week or so ago, and I was able to share that I modeled with the city, county, and Board of Education meeting together, and they was pretty impressed with it. And maybe in the future we can include ACCG and GMA and even the Boards Association to participate in some of our joint meetings so that they can, as well as state reps and field reps on the Senate, for our state senators, congressmen and senators up in Washington to participate. So if we have issues going on, they know about it. If there's some assistance they can help us with, they know about it early, so that versus us going to them later asking for help, they'll hear about us and help us out in the whole discussion process. So we got a lot of good things going on in Jones County, so it's something to be proud of. Something to be proud of.
Chairman, one last thing.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Pitts and Commissioner Martin are usually pretty modest about this. They don't just go to some of these events. They represent us well at a lot of these state and national events, and so thank y'all for doing that. They don't just go to be going. So they represent us well and vote well on our behalf. So also somebody's having a birthday like this Friday, I think. So just everybody wants
Thank
to know
you very
y'all.
much. All right.
Early happy
40 yet?
birthday.
I'll be 43.
43.
Jesus.
Wow.
Got clothes on you, John.
That's great. Well, happy birthday. This
Thank you so
Friday.
much, Chairman. This Friday, that's right. Friday the 20th. So thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Good deal. At this time, I need a motion to adjourn to go into executive session for personnel, litigation, and real estate.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We got a motion, we got a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it, thank you.
If nobody seconds it, we will not have to do it.
We got a second.